Hello, I'm Mike Gordon. This is Weekend Rentals Summer Sega Edition. Now, before we begin, allow me to readdress last weekend's debacle concerning Cliffhanger CD. As some of you may have already known, I originally planned to cover that game as the very last weekend rental. I already finished filming and editing the piece, and I recorded my lines under the assumption that it would have been my 114th perfect playthrough. And yes, I fully expected to get flagged for false copyright, and I would inevitably have to combat it and get the flags overturned. I did that quite a bit, especially with Disney games and all that. But not even Disney would do something that Sony would do with concerning Cliffhanger. And unfortunately, the situation was far, far worse than I anticipated, as the video ultimately got blocked worldwide. The main culprit were the FMVs taken straight from the movie, and despite distorting the audio and footage to make it unrecognizable from the 1993 film as possible, I was still barred from showing the playthrough on YouTube. And rather than attempt to contest it and risking a channel strike, I took down the video and pivoted to Afterburner for the arcade at the very last second. But wait, there's more. Due to these copyright issues, among other things, I made the calculated decision to scrap all other weekend rentals that I had already filmed up to this point, except for one. Chief among them being Spider-Man vs. Kingpin, Star Wars Rebel Assault, and the Echo the Dolphin games. Now, some of these games will make the shortlist for this year's 12 Games of Christmas, but I cannot guarantee that either of them will make it in by the end of the year. So then, what exactly was the one exception to this rule? Why, none other than Perfect Playthrough number 115, of course. And believe it or not, this game doesn't have any of Cliffhanger's shortcomings holding it back, from the heavily copyrighted content to the additional secret content that I previously didn't even know about. So let's not beat around the bush, let's talk MegaRace for the Sega CD. Alright, let's do English subtitles. And a little bit of loading later. So. And that's pretty creepy. I bet you this looks pretty cool back in the early 90s, since this game did originally release on PCs, and this is a port over to the Sega CD. This definitely gives me Blade Runner vibes. This is just really, really cold and icy. Alright, it's very cold.
And now, VWBT is proud to present the show that squashes reality like a bug. That's right, you better be ready to MegaRace.
You put the title screen right here.
And here's your mega host, Lance Boyle.
Hey, welcome to MegaRace, the action show where violence only happens once every few seconds. Hi, I'm Lance Boyle, and people often wonder if I'm real. Do you ever wonder what it's like to race a real high-performance sports car? You know, like the ones those punk speed gangs drive on the freeways? Those guys really think they rule the road, right? I mean, where do they get off in intimidating law-abiding citizens and taxpayers? You know what I mean? And you know something else? You are absolutely right. So you say somebody ought to do something about them criminal highway gangs. And VWBT says, oh yeah? Well, why don't you do something, Mr. Big Mouth?
Please.
You don't have the car? We'll give you the car. You don't want to get arrested for taking the law into your own hands. Not a problem. You know why? Because it ain't real. It's a whole lot better than real, baby. It's virtual television. Reality's white nightmare.
Okay.
Here's the deal. Our chosen candidate and everybody with a death wish is free to apply, including men and women of either sex. Our candidate, who we call the Enforcer, gets a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to terminate a whole lot of slime balls, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. You see what I mean? Because it's all happening right here on VWBT, where the cops move over and the Enforcer takes over. We have 14 amazing racetracks in 5 totally different environments. We have cars you'd sell every drop of blood in your body to own. We have exclusive contracts with 5, yes, I said 5, vicious speed gangs, each with a pack leader you don't ever want to meet, believe me. I did, and I still feel sick.
Okay, that's the premise of the
In
game.
each mega race, the Enforcer tries to get past the pack leader's sidekicks, then catch up with their boss and eliminate him. The sidekicks try to stop that from happening. It's the kind of scum they are. And that's not all our hero has to contend with, I am happy to say. The track features a terrifying selection of symbols, which signify things like speeding up and slowing up and maybe even blowing up. Who knows? Who cares?
You don't
You
blow
want
up.
to know what happens is that at the end of the race, the Enforcer didn't quite overtake as many of these speed punks as he was supposed to? Well, we just stamped chicken on his face and sent him home to the mommy. Yeah, baby, these streets are mean. Okay, let's just see if our Enforcer is ready to rumble a few bad guys. Hi there, Tiger. All psyched up? Yeah, keep that adrenaline pumping. Ooh, you're really scaring me. Okay, tough guy, now listen up. What you gotta do is score a whole lot of points. And the way you do that is, you slam those punks into the sidewall every chance you get. High-speed explosions equals big points. Yes, sir, that's the magic of television. Wait till you hear this. Every time you kill a pack leader, and when I say kill, I'm talking virtuality, not reality, okay?
I wonder
In
this.
the race, nobody actually dies. It just looks and feels
Yeah.
like it, and that makes you feel a whole lot better about yourself, now doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
Every time you kill a leader, you not only score big time,
would
you
think-
also win some major bonus prizes. His personal music CD and his customized car are both yours.
Oh.
Take a look at this. You know what that is?
So,
Sure
okay.
you do. It's the thrillometer. Anytime the excitement level drops into the gray zone, it means the audience is not getting enough of those beautiful white-knuckle thrills. And we don't want that now, do we? What happens when you've finally blown away the last pack leader on the toughest track of them all? Well, that's when we take a look at your score and see where your name goes in the MegaRace Hall of Everlasting Fame. And also which of our fabulous prizes you are going to enjoy.
Okay, so the game does a good job at summing up all the conditions for a perfect race. There are 14 tracks on 5 different locations, 5 different speed
Welcome
games.
to New Sad, possibly the world's most sophisticated city, where only
First
the
side, the
lovely
first
people
race.
spend money in a fully sealed environment, protected from outside reality. I think you'll enjoy BWBT's
Every time you
incredibly
defeat a pack
expensive
leader, you unlock a new
uptown
vehicle.
speedway. sit back and dream about the delights of an elegant nightlife while the Enforcer does high-speed battle with a very brutal gang they have down here. They call themselves the Vultures, and they're brought to you by VWBT in association with Bodywake, skincare for your automobile, because cars are people too. How true that is. Here in New San, you'll get to know the Vultures. They're a speed gang with a lot of rage, and they like to liberate those strong feelings by smearing people across the highway. Their pack leader calls himself Jailbait. He's seen your picture, Enforcer, and he's got some interesting plans for your face.
Ew.
It's time to select your MegaRace machine, Enforcer.
So creepy.
Look at those beauties. Go ahead, help yourself.
Okay. So I'm not gonna view every single FMZ because this took forever to get started, but let's look over some of the cars. We literally start with 3 out of 8 possible automobiles. And we're just doing this blind. Alright, heavily armored, 5 rear pipes. Warning device, shield capabilities, 1 laser gun, but no missile carrier. Probably not the best vehicle to use. Let's try the next ones, and there are also 5 unlockable vehicles. Lewis, medium armor, multi-turbo motor, weights on 10 umps, device, shield capabilities, 3 laser guns, but again, no missile carrier. Seems okay. Alright, let's look at this one now. Ozbel or something, strongly armored, 2 high beam reactors, weights on 20, shield capabilities, warning device, 3 laser guns, and a missile carrier. So this looks like the best car to use at this point in time.
From now on, you are on your own, Enforcer. And as I always say at this point in the show, have a nice death, baby.
So creepy. So yeah, all the conditions we need for a perfect playthrough are here. We have to unlock all of the automobiles. We have to clear all 14 racetracks, defeat all 5 speed games. All around to beat the game. Now, this course is pretty easy. I was able to do this entirely on 1 take. As far as things like getting a high score or all the prizes are concerned, the prizes don't really mean anything, as far as I can tell. I've actually did some research on it. They don't mean anything. So let's just go ahead and shoot this guy down. Yeah, all we have left now is the pack leader, Jailbait. So how we know this is Jailbait, I have no idea. But the race is over.
Hey, way to go, Enforcer! That slime ball is toasted pulp as we speak. Of course he only got splatted virtually. But even so, how many times can anybody's neurons take that kind of partying? I got the statistics right here, only I'm not allowed to tell.
I really do not like Lance Boyle. It just makes my flesh crawl.
Remember, you saw it first on VWBT. They couldn't find the legend, so they built it. Right here in the wonderful water world of Mava. And they called their legend Atlantis, the city neath the waves. And it was good, and kinda wet. You won't be getting wet, Enforcer. Our fully transparent race tool will protect you from all the denizens of the deep, except that is from the vicious speed gang specially imported at great expense by AquaTube, the fully transparent underwater race tube people. You may have noticed the almost vertical turns in the speedway. Yes, you'll be defying death and gravity at the same time. You ought to stop and think about that.
Isn't this virtual
Magical
reality?
Neighbor didn't have any vicious speed gangs, so he spent quite a lot of money and got one. The place sure hasn't been the same since these boys cruised in. We call them the Sharks, and I think you'll find them pretty snappy, if you'll pardon a quite amusing joke. Our ideas people came up with the name Hammerhead for the pack leader. He still hasn't decided if he's gonna nail you to the sidewall or bite your legs off.
Oh, Hammerhead.
It's time to select your MegaRace
Alright, I'm
machine
just gonna skip
enforcer.
these cutscenes. Any cutscene that repeats, I'm just gonna skip them from now on. And let's check out the new vehicle that we unlocked from killing Jailbait in the first stage. And this one is Amon, lightly armored, high-speed reactor, weight 870, no warning device, no shield capabilities, 4.3 laser guns and a missile carrier. So probably a pretty speedy vehicle. Let's give it a try. And I'm pretty sure we will end up using this vehicle a lot more often as we proceed with the story because it actually handles way better than the previous vehicle. But you are also much more vulnerable. Look how much damage that ramming into that car did to our vehicle. Alright. We aren't really exciting the audience quite yet, so let's try to close in on it. I want to be careful I don't zoom in too closely because we can't take enough death. And I want to address the elephant in the room before the next cutscenes play. And you would think that some of the things that you would, some of the story developments of this game, like how they just threw a violent, vicious speed game into a place that didn't have it previously. And our job was to exterminate these racers virtually. That this game might actually be building up to a Running Man style twist where, or I guess Ender's Game style twist where, no, these races were all real. These games you killed were all real.
If you have a hard ad at home, you may want to put it on now as MegaRace visits Factory Land. This speedway we call Industrial Park. It's a name rich with the atmosphere of burning truck tires. All around us are armies of robots making armies of robots making armies. Hey, there's one over there. Hey, you! Get back to work or I'll take out my can opener! Yeah, those guys just love it when you laugh at them. Wow! Is that corkscrew for real, or is the pilot slumped lifeless over the controls? Well, if he ever wakes up, remind me to fire him. But seriously though, folks, it's thanks to robots that people like you can spend all day watching VWBT. Just don't give them the right to form labor unions. That's all I'm saying.
You should re-summarize them off.
Who's gonna make you so? You ever heard of Factory Land? Big Bob and the Power Tools, that's who, baby. These are red-blooded men with beer guts and sweaty heads. They don't like robots and they don't like robot lovers like you. Uh-oh, Big Bob's eyes are getting very close together. That's bad news for you, Enforcer.
This is so creepy. Let's just save this game for Halloween. And Anyways, this is the new vehicle that we got from the Killing Hammerhead. We took his car. It's called Maria, medium armor, flat V29 motor, 98 umps, no harm device, shield capabilities, or missile carrier, but 3 laser guns. Most of these stats, I have no idea what they even mean, so I'm just gonna sell to with the third car that we start off with, because that should be good for most of this game. Good enough for most of this game. As I was saying, you would think with all the with the setting, the odd mannerisms, and some of the that the game's plot is implying that these races are all 100% real. But this revelation, spoiler alert, this revelation never comes. This was at a time where video game storytelling wasn't really taken seriously. There were sections of the industry, like Super Metroid or some of the later RPGs, especially Final Fantasy IV onwards, that were making attempts at telling more serious stories, but it really wouldn't be until Final Fantasy VII and the likes of Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, and Xenogears that we finally would get these serious stories. Oh yeah, we're completely out of ammo, so we have to run into the vehicle.
Hey, way to go!
I think his name was Big Bob. But yeah, it's just a game show. You clear all 14 tracks and you beat the game, that's it.
You're with MegaRace, and I'm your host.
So, because,
Boyle.
yeah, it is that lightweight of a plot. No, get away from me!
For a marvel of virtual reality.
So creepy! Get away from me!
Yes, my friends, we are messing with your minds. Gaze upon the mighty Sky Holder and gasp. You're on your own for this one, tough guy. 2 laps and the only thing you're hunting here is points. Lots and lots of score. So look out for the special speedway surface markings.
Okay.
Viewers might like to know we've removed the brakes from the Enforcer's car.
Asshole. But, okay, before we shoot, so yeah, the next race is just that, a race. You're not trying to kill the vehicles, you're just trying to survive the 2 to 3 laps. So it's Hooper, strongly armored, high-speed reactor, weight 860, no warning device, no shield capabilities, 2 laser guns, and no missile carrier. It's kind of funny how there's only 2 vehicles in the entire game with actual missile carrier. But since this is just a race, a survival race, a bonus round of sorts, we might as well just get this one out for a spin. And yeah, this controls well. I think this is supposed to be an especially sturdy vehicle. And of course, he is completely right, there's no way to slow down. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this, but there are no buttons that cause you to move. You are literally, because this is this game is almost entirely full motion video. This game, the tracks are all automated. The only thing you can actually affect is how fast or slow you're going. But otherwise, you're constantly moving. And oh yeah, the other buttons allow you to. Then of course you can fire missiles or laser guns at other cars too.
Way to go!
Alright, that was 3 races. We generated a bonus run, and I think we got a pretty high score there.
Remember, you saw it first on BWBT. You care to guess where you are at this moment, Enforcer? What would you say if I told you the ideas people here at VWBT came in one day and said, Lance, what would you say if we told you we just paid good money for a used fractalian whale and we're going to build a racetrack where its vital organs used to be? Well, now, Enforcer, my guess is you're starting to feel like you've been swallowed whole. Get your breath back, baby, because you're gonna need it. Few have escaped the belly of the beast.
So we're inside a whale.
They come from the finest families. Rich kids with attitude. That's what the headlines say. But behind the millionaire suntanned, what really goes on in the minds of the master class? Fractalian Space's very own radical speed gang, yeah.
Oh, Fractalian
Team
whale.
leader, King Cool, is so tired of the ugliness he sees around him. He just wants to blow it all away. It's time to...
So yeah, the Fractalian whale is just an asteroid. We are literally racing in outer space, and there are no new vehicles because that was just a bonus round. This is the 4th track for us to clear in the 4th game. By the way, I have no idea how to fire missiles, and we somehow killed that car. Took a lot of damage though, but okay. Yes, if you manage to outgain them by a considerable margin, you can destroy them that way, but you are fully but they will just rubber band to you until you get too far away from them. Or until you take them out yourself. So we have 2 more vehicles left. This combat racer kind of has a similar issue to Super Hang-On, where you literally have no idea who your main target is supposed to be. I'm not gonna just go after the main target. I might as well just take care of all the vehicles. Alright, that's the last one. Screen glitches. And I'm basically deleting any repeat cutscenes because we don't need to watch them every single time I play, don't I?
Remember, you saw it first on VWBT. The authorities have been threatening to change the whole atmosphere of Terminal City for years. But VWBT's got its gloves on and we're punching as low as we can go. Our viewers want to experience pity for the poverty-stricken citizens of this area, and that makes me feel very humble. To think the good people of Terminal City are the constant victims of cynical self-seekers, that makes me mad as hell. And that's why we persuaded the city authorities to build this magnificent multi-billion-dollar racetrack for our exclusive use, right here in Wasteland. I just want to say that you've got a lot of responsibility riding on your shoulders, Enforcer. Strike a blow for freedom. You hear me? Terminal City's most degenerate speed gang is called the Scabs. They're very unstable, I'm sorry to say. Between races, we do carefully subject them to permanent sensory deprivation, except for the smell of blood. But it does no good, Enforcer. They insist on eating your kidneys. I assured their drooling leader, Rabies, that you only want to put him out of his misery. But he just went on barking. Luckily for you, this is virtuality, where getting eaten doesn't hurt a bit.
You're so creepy.
It's time to select.
I like that he tries to make this as unsettling as possible, even though we just have one more car left to unlock. And, I'll adjust the 3 buttons at the bottom of the screen because nothing in the walkthrough I looked up says anything of the sort. Mega, lightly armored, high beam reactor, weight, warning device, shield capabilities, 2 laser guns, and again, no missile carrier. Of course, I never use missiles, so that doesn't really matter. Just gotta use the same old trusty, whatever his name is. By the way, these tracks do get harder and harder. Though it is interesting that there are only 14 tracks across 5 locations, so I'm wondering which of the 5 locations gets left out at the end. Which one is it that you only visit twice? So I'm just trying to dodge the backwards arrows and anything that's not good for me. Just 2 cars in the first lap. Not great, but not terrible. You want your shots to be tried and true, and if you don't just pick up those white ammo blocks, it's a little difficult to explain what each of these blocks do, but some of it's pretty self-explanatory. Others aren't really clear. Again, the walkthrough that I'm looking up doesn't really provide you with much information.
Can you keep up this level of intensity, tough guy? Or have you given your all in one spectacular race? Viewers, if you're watching the repeat, please don't phone in to tell me the answer. I hate it when they ruin the suspense. You just won yourself a prize, Enforcer. Come and take a look.
Alright.
Say, I'd go for one of these myself if I didn't already have a box full.
Okay. So let's see the prize, and I bet you it's nothing.
Seats. If I were a contestant, I'd love to win those. I really would.
And spoiler alert, these prizes mean absolutely nothing. I'm not quite sure what triggers these prize screens at all, if anything in particular. Or what kind of prizes you would get.
Take a look at that. VWBT did, and poured billions of dollars into building this superb Sunset Boulevard Speedway. Going down! Some of the local residents were a little concerned about having a racetrack right outside the windows. So we said, it's a virtual structure, right? You only think you're seeing it.
Alright, this is definitely a sign that this isn't virtual reality.
But a hardcore complainers continued causing trouble. Well, you'll be glad to know we finally put their minds at rest. For a very long time indeed.
Yeah, I think there's several...
Here in New San, you'll get to know the Vultures. They're a speed gang with a lot of rage, and they like to liberate those strong feelings by smearing people across the highway. Their pack leader calls himself Jailbait. He's seen your picture, Enforcer, and he's got some interesting plans for your face. It's time.
So, we unlocked all the cars in the game already. One of the... So, just gonna put my vehicle. And let's take a look at it's what we want from Paloma, heavily armored, 2 high beam reactors, weight 725 ohms, no warning device, no shield capabilities, 2 laser guns, but no missile carrier. So many of these vehicles seem so identical, it's crazy. Might as well just stick with the tried and true, eh? So there are 6 vehicles for us to take out. So, in the car selection, I think the bottom 3 buttons, one of them is to save your game. I think the other is to check your high score, and the other is quit your game. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing indicating that the prizes mean anything, or that you can collect them all, so to speak. Honestly, I'll be eating pro if it turns out that, yes, you do have to unlock all of the different prizes in order to achieve a perfect playthrough. I'll definitely pro if that happens to be the case. But I don't think it is the case. In the walkthrough I looked at only mentions 8 or 9 levels, when there are 14. We are just about out of gas, so we need to find something to do this one. Oh wait, we are just about out. We just killed the last vehicle, and that's it for this level. Never mind. We are 6 levels down. We got 9 more to go. Yeah, I'm absolutely certain that none of this is virtual reality. That this is actually in the universe. This is all really happening, and he's just gaslighting. And I just get the cutscene because it's a cutscene we already seen, and I'm just gonna choose the first car. Every 3 racetracks, you get these bonus races where you just have to lap the course twice. I don't think it's ever stated where this location is located. Yeah, you're just going faster and faster and faster. But it's not that difficult to avoid these vehicles, especially since we don't need to fight them. So there's 14 levels plus 4 bonus rings. I think if you die or fail to blow up all the vehicles in this stage, the game will end automatically.
Way to go,
I suppose it is possible to earn a second chance by earning a high enough score.
Remember, you saw it first on VWBT. Behold the enchanting wilderness of Equiland, nestling in the heart of magical Mava. Viewers at home will experience a world of undersea delights and thrills as the Enforcer hunts down the deadly shark gang and cleans up the aqua tube for decent, law-abiding tube users everywhere. Magical Mava didn't have any vicious speed gangs, so he spent quite a lot of money and got one. The place sure hasn't been the same since these boys cruised in. We call them the Sharks, and I think you'll find them pretty snappy, if you'll pardon a quite amusing joke. Our ideas people came up with the name Hammerhead for the pack leader. He still hasn't decided if he's gonna nail you to the sidewall or bite your legs off.
You said that already? Some of these FMVs are just a little bit different from one another, and they're just not one-for-one repeated. So yeah, I definitely think... I'm just gonna go ahead and fire at will. Make sure I have enough ammo to gun this thing down. And... okay. Kind of funny that this game of all games, it happens to be the first racing game I've ever covered on my channel. Alright. Alright, 3 more vehicles to go, but we're late in the second lap already. Shit. Come on, let's go. We got our ammo back. Last lap, we have 2 more vehicles to go though. Come on, let's get closer, and with the last vehicle I could probably just ram into it. Because I might not have time to hit him. Come on, let's hurry it up. Well, let's fire at will, and that's it.
You just won yourself a prize, Enforcer. Come and take a look. Say,
Even
I'd
though
go
that
for
was
one
a
of these
repeat
myself if I
cutscene,
didn't
it's the
already have a
same
box full.
one that awards you with a prize. Again, I'm not quite sure what triggers these prize handouts. Land spoiled my life.
A book. Don't worry, it's a fake. You were scared for a moment there, right? What a gag.
So I got literally nothing. So again, I must stress it. I don't think these prizes mean anything. I'm not quite sure what triggers these cutscenes to appear.
Throughout history, hundreds of deranged scientific minds have fallen asleep in the labs late at night to unleash upon an unsuspecting world vast armies of giant psycho-mutant aardvarks. Beagles, caterpillars, dolphins, enzymes, frogs, girl guides, plants, iguanas, jellyfish, koalas, lepidoptera, mushrooms, newts, orangutans, polyps, squawks, rodents, spiders, tuna fish, umbrella birds, vegetarians, wasps, xerophytes, yaks, and zygodactyls. BWBT bids you welcome to Fractalian Space, where rich people come to relax and look, and where we shall now unleash our very own psycho-mutant enforcer into the particle accelerator. Step on it, baby, before it steps on you. They come from the finest families. Rich kids with attitude. That's what the headlines say. But behind the millionaire suntanned, what really goes on in the minds of the master class? Fractalian Space's very own radical speed gang, yeah. Team leader, King Cool, is so tired of the ugliness he sees around him. He just wants to blow it all away.
Yep.
It's time to select your...
And we're basically done going through the menus and look at the cars by now. We're just sticking to what we know. So that wasn't a terribly difficult one to shoot down. Also, I think this was a little easier than the previous stage. But I believe this is stage 9 because we're back at Reptilian Space. And yes, that was Land Spoil listed off random animals and pseudo-animals, I guess, in alphabetical order. Holding a John Travolta in what's the name of it? Premonition before that movie even came out. Alright, we only have one more racer to go. So yeah, this is, even though we're in the last lap already, this was kind of easy. Let's get a little closer. And we beat it. Let's get those cutscene, and I think we're about to hit a bonus round soon. Yes, you can skip FMVs in this game, but I want to make absolutely sure that we see them all.
Here at VWBT, we love to be disgusting, so get your sick bags ready, and once again we'll visit the real world. Yuck! The official name for this part of Factory Land is Extraction Facility 17. But once you've checked out the unbelievable racetrack we put together down here, you'll know why we call it the Snake. If you can't figure it out, don't worry. Nobody's gonna hurt you. Just lie back and think how happy you are. And I don't care what any uppity robot says. Progress is soft and chocolate-shaped. You cannot argue with scientific fact.
They did reptilian space in Factory Land and flipped them.
Who's gonna make you so? You ever heard of Factory Land? Big Bob and the Power Tools, that too, baby. These are red-blooded men with beer guts and sweaty heads. They don't like robots and they don't like robot lovers like you. Uh-oh. Big Bob's eyes are getting very close together. That's bad news for you, Enforcer.
Alright, now these FMVs are starting to get a little bit lazy. So you get a little bit lazy, I'm just gonna go use the same vehicle as last time. So that hasn't let me down for quite a while yet. But I can assure you, this will be one of the last times you will be using this vehicle. In the later levels, past level 9, it's going to be damn near impossible to complete them with this vehicle because you're not moving fast enough. And you aren't able to swerve back and forth all that quickly either. So we have to forego some of our protections in favor of utility. And yes, that's the difference between the two vehicles with missile launchers. It's not just, oh, one has one more laser than the other, it's that one is more durable but slower than the other. Look, we're almost dead. There's 3 vehicles left. Now 2. We're approaching the final laps real soon. For all intents and purposes, we are about out of time and resources. And, we can't kill this vehicle. Come on, pick something up. Will this be enough? Good. That should be it for this level.
Hey, way to go.
You probably could have skipped a ton of these cutscenes
MegaRace
that are clearly repeating.
Well, remember, you saw it first on VWBT. It's time.
Get them off the screen. Alright, and I'm just gonna use the first car. I don't think I need to show off all the vehicles in action, like, at all. Because most of these vehicles just straight up suck. Like, even the one I keep using in these bonus rounds, I'm using it because it sucks during the main races themselves. And yeah, I imagine this game is plenty difficult, but it's kind of funny how this is probably one of the most forgettable and most forgot about video games of all time. I mean, yeah, the game, other than the game being super creepy, particularly Land Spoil being super creepy, and the backgrounds being very drab, sterile, and cold, with no narrative to flesh this world out.
You like driving around in the dark,
Already?
Enforcer? Well, your dream comes true.
Back here
We're
already.
high over Terminal City on a scientifically acclaimed miracle of TV technology called the Orbital Junkyard. It's a racetrack in a garden of eternal slumber for defunct spaceships that other slumber gardens won't handle. A fitting stage for your own demise, Enforcer. There's a lot of people out there who've been waiting very patiently to watch you die. Terminal City's most degenerate speed gang is called the Scabs. They're very unstable, I'm sorry to say. Between races, we do carefully subject them to permanent sensory deprivation, except for the smell of blood. But it does no good, Enforcer. They insist on eating your kidneys. I assured their drooling leader, Rabies, that you only want to put him out of his misery. But he just got this information. Luckily for you, this is virtuality, where getting eaten doesn't hurt a bit.
This is just so weird. So I'm just gonna take the same car. And we're basically running out of uses for this. As I said, we're basically running out of uses for this vehicle. But yeah, this is otherwise a very forgettable racing game. Probably novel for its time, especially when it first came out on PCs, and then got ported over to the Sega CD. But, you know, it's kind of a super generic combat racer. A genre that includes the likes of Mach Rider, Road Rash, and Twisted Metal. Yeah, MegaRace is also its own franchise too, so there are sequels to this game. Interestingly enough. And yet it's still almost completely forgotten. Oh, this makes this game either underrated or just plain bad, and the answer is neither. This game is it's pretty hard, but also pretty mediocre. I think what boils down to is that people probably would much rather control the vehicle at all times than be at the mercy of the full motion video. As we've almost been lapped all the way through, so we gotta hurry up and take this guy out before we hit the finish line. Alright. That's that.
Hey, way to go.
And,
This is MegaRace. Are you looking for the perfect family vacation? Well then, how about this? The Blue Lagoon Fun World. Nestling in the heart of magical Mava. With water so blue it'll never wash off. You'll be taken care of in style by a fully trained staff of obsequious dolphins. They just love being servants. VWBT's $20 billion Blue Lagoon Speedway is an added attraction you won't want to miss. Let's sit back and watch the Enforcer deal MegaRace justice to a group of punks with no respect for civilized standards. magical Mava didn't have any vicious speed gangs, so
Yeah,
he
this
spent
is,
quite a lot of
again,
money
further
and
proof
got one.
that they
The
literally
place
just
sure
slotted
hasn't been the
these
same
speed
since
games
these
into this
boys
area.
cruised in.
The
We called
only
them the
thing,
Sharks.
the only bit
I
of
think you'll find them
evidence
pretty
backing up
snappy,
that this
if
is
you'll pardon
virtual
the quite
reality
amusing joke.
is the fact that you're
Our
killing the
ideas
same
people came up
5
with the name
speed gangs and the
Hammerhead for
same
pack
5
leader. He still hasn't decided if he's gonna
gang
nail you to the
leaders
sidewall
over and
or
over
bite your
again.
legs off. It's time to select.
That is literally, this is literally the only evidence that MegaRace is virtual reality. But there's also many other pieces of evidence that suggest that no, he's lying, he's gaslighting. These games are real and you really are blowing them up. You may be controlling them through virtual reality, but about the same way that Ender was controlling the Starfleets at the end of Ender's game. As that of Ender's game. Or since we're talking about game shows, you could also throw in Running Man. Alright. And this is probably where I fully maximize my potential with this vehicle. So I'm barely able to catch up to any of these vehicles at all with this one. So we're on the last lap already. Gotta hurry up and shoot the last one now. But we're also almost dead and almost out of ammo. Alright. Oh. One last vehicle. Shit. No time to lose, we have to shoot him down now. Just at the nick of time. And that was literally at the nick of time. Had we been even a second later, we would have crossed the finish line and would have lost.
This is MegaRace. If anybody watching knows what a gyrostat is, well, this could be an opportunity for you to impress yourself with the extent of your knowledge. We built this baby right here in factory land because we felt that it was right for the community. We even named it the Big Zero as a tribute to our viewers. Robots like to come and see it before they die. This could be where the Enforcer dies. Not really, I know that, but even so, I mean, imagine the trauma. Who's gonna make you so? You ever heard of Factory Land? Big Bob and the Power Tools, baby. These are red-blooded men with beer guts and sweaty heads.
Yeah.
They don't like robots and they don't like robot lovers like you. Uh-oh.
I should have
Big
skipped
Bob's
these
eyes are
cutscenes
getting
during
very
these
That's
introductory
bad news for
cutscenes
you, Enforcer.
during the rematches with these gangs. Because we don't need to hear all that again. But from now on, there's really no way I can continue on with the old purple vehicle, so I've decided to move on. Well, first let's take a look at this vehicle again. The reason why I'm going back to this vehicle, which we haven't seen since level 2, is because it has high-speed reactor and is lightly armored. It has all the stuff that I liked about the, I guess, car number 6, I guess, purple one. Meaning this car is very fast and is very easy to handle. This will actually help even the odds as we try to catch up to these guys. Because from now on, we're literally just going up and around this giant looping track trying to gun down all these vehicles. And there's no room for error, especially with all these slippery slopes and the ammo drainers. And the oil slicks. We have to give this thing everything we've got. And I mean absolutely everything. Let's go. I have to cut through that so I can have enough ammo to finish this race. I have to be careful to avoid certain tracks so that I don't lose my ammo. Yes, now it's possible that we will lose our laser guns if we're not careful. If that happens, we're screwed. I'm just gonna cut through these. Oh no, yeah, some of these guns can also reverse your controls or drain your ammo, etc., etc.
You just won yourself a prize, Enforcer. Come and take a look. Say, I'd go for one of these myself if I didn't already have a box full.
So for now on, we're using that, or we're going to be using that
out with
vehicle.
yourself, including restaurant and a romantic movie. All expenses paid by YOU. Do I hear wedding bells?
Now, this is why I think these prizes are all BS, because again, there's nothing that indicates that you have to collect them all in order to achieve a perfect playthrough.
Remember, you saw it first on
There's no indication that that it's even possible to collect them all. Alright. So this is the last bonus round in the whole game, as we approach the final stretch of MegaRace. Luckily, the difficulty setting for these bonus rounds remain pretty constant. There's really nothing that indicates that either of them get progressively easier or harder, or have any changes whatsoever. Is my score dropping? Now it's rising back up. What the deal is. Boys, we're just about whatever. We're just about done with this anyways. Now our points are draining.
Way to go.
That was something I just noticed. Oh, well, I don't really pay attention to the score.
This is
Why are we back up in space?
No, you're not dreaming. Let's take a dawn drive along the romantic Golden Gate Speedway. VWBT's special tribute to Old Sand, the way it used to be in times past.
Oh.
Before it became the new sand of today. The glories of yesteryear.
Oh!
Brought to you by the makers of copycats. Don't you wish you had the internal organs of your youth? Now you can.
Old sand, new sand,
Thanks
as
to our exciting instant cloning system. The young, the healthy, and the youth.
I get old sand, new
Here
sand,
New
as in
Sand,
San
you get to know the
Francisco.
Vultures. They're a speed gang with a lot of
Wow.
rage, and they like to
I
liberate
did not
those
see that
strong
coming.
feelings, but
Alright, final
smearing
race of
people
the
across the
Vultures.
highway.
We already
They're
know
Pac
what
Lee.
we
They call
can
himself
expect.
Jailbait.
And of course,
He's taking your
Jailbait.
picture, Enforcer, and he's got some interesting plans for your face.
Alright.
It's
So, yeah, this is how I realized, wait, there are 3 buds down there, and I think one of them is to save your game, the other one's to check your score, and the other is to quit your game, and then turn the tile screen. This is when things get super crazy and the handling of our vehicle really matters on top of our speed. So whenever possible, we need to replenish. We need to be able to speed up, replenish our ammo, and so on and so forth. Oh, I get it. The score increases if you keep the excitometer going. Otherwise, the score drops when the excitement starts to dip. Took me this whole time to do it, to figure that out. Okay, we took out the track, and now we have one more level left to go before we officially achieve a perfect playthrough of MegaRace, and accomplish everything the game has to offer.
This is MegaRace.
Okay, where's the dialogue? Well, what's going on?
Truly,
There's no dialogue.
Space has nothing more delightful to offer the jaded eye than this vision of unspoiled loveliness. VWBT's Paradise Valley Speedway blends into the surrounding landscape so harmoniously I don't even know what I'm talking about. There is as yet no wildlife as such in the region. However, selected groups of financially inadequate persons are regularly released to live wild within the confines of the Paradise Valley Park. When their numbers have reached targeted levels of sustainability, world political and religious leaders will be invited to come here for their regular hunting weekends. They come from the finest families. Rich kids with attitude. That's what the headlines say. But behind the millionaire suntanned, what really goes on in the minds of the master class? Fractalian Space's very own radical speed gang, yeah. Team leader, King Cool, is tired of the ugliness he sees around him. He just wants to blow it all away.
Alright, our final confrontation with King Cool, and yeah, I'm just going to finish this up real quick. This is literally the final race of the game. Once we clear it, we've achieved, congratulations, we've achieved a perfect playthrough. Yes, at this point, speed and handling is far more important than your durability. Let's go. Man, he's just dodging my every move. Alright. We're still on the first lap. We're approaching the second lap. Alright. Making really good progress. There's 2 more vehicles to go. And alright, that's the last vehicle, and congratulations, we've made the MegaRace Hall of Fame, and I've beaten the game. Not sure what our score is or where it ranks, because
Ladies
this
and
was
gentlemen,
completely
we have a
understandable.
brand new MegaRace Solid Gold Enforcement Officer! How about that? Hey, tough guy, you did it! Thanks to you, criminals everywhere are turning to each other and saying, I want my mommy! Enforcer, let's check out your fabulous prize! You have won!
There'd be like a million bucks.
A book! Don't worry, it's a
Nope.
fake. You were scared
It's
for
the
a
same
moment
prize
there,
we
right?
won a
What
couple
game.
prizes ago. An empty book.
Believe me, Enforcer,
No
you'll
real
enjoy that
prize.
prize. I did, and I should know. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Like I always say, it only shows to go. You've been watching one of the very top mega races in history, and that's going backwards in time. Hey, I'm Lance Boyle, and it doesn't hurt a bit.
And that is it for MegaRace for the Sega CD, and ultimately I have to say, the game's just okay. Honestly, I kind of wish these 14 races were building up to a big reveal. That all of this was real, and then we have to, like, do something to bring down this corporation down, or, since this became a franchise, set up future MegaRace titles to build upon this and flesh things out. Maybe that happens in the sequels, of which none of them ever saw a release on the Sega CD. But yeah, it's just kind of okay. Nothing too great. What's going on here? Alright, just fireworks to celebrating our victory that we've beaten the game. Honestly, I thought that was just kind of a lame ending. Otherwise, the game is just kind of forgettable. It's difficult, but it's not memorable in any way. It literally feels like there are even back then, it feels like there are other combat racers that are just leaps and bounds better than this one. Interesting idea. The story, what little there is, does fuel the imagination of, is there a lot more than what they say? Is there a lot more behind the scenes and whatnot? Or is this really what they advertise themselves as? Oh yeah, this also released, MegaRace games also all released on the 3DO. I'm not gonna sugarcoat, the only reason I'm adding this to my perfect playthroughs is because it's the only Sega CD game I could do this towards, that I've actually achieved a perfect playthrough on, and I can still show it without getting copyright struck to oblivion. A blank cliffhanger for the reasons why I've basically gutted this week's weekend rentals altogether, but don't worry, they'll be coming back soon enough. I promise ya. So yeah, this is just a really boring end credits. I've already said my piece. So I might as well just say it right now. Leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Do the same thing even if you don't think what you see here is anything that all impressive. It's still highly appreciated if you leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Okay? It is absolutely appreciated. Don't take what I say for granted. And, man, especially... How much longer is this? Alright, I'm just gonna say... You know, I'm gonna go take a leak right now. So, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Greatly appreciated. Yada, yada. This is Mike Gordon. Sign out.